My organization is I actually identified the need within the community when I started being at home. You know, when I became unemployed and I was at home, and then I saw too many kids because I live opposite the park. A lot of kids, they came from school, then they play on the park until late in the evening. And then I was wondering, where are these children's parents, and did they eat? If they didn't eat, what is their situation? You know, because there's a lot of unemployment within our community. And that is why I thought, okay, I would start this organization where I could feed the children, not just feed them, also so that they can eat nutritiously. Because most of them have this, you know, those 50-cent chips and those, I don't know what they call it, but they get anything to eat if it's like a 50-cent and that's all they get. Also giving the children counseling, because most of them, I did assist a few children already within the community that cannot really read, but they're grade 6. They cannot even write their own name or even write whatever. CSS training, it gave me like an open mind, because you know, working with children of different areas, different households, they come out of different situations, and for you to identify that and even to speak to their children, it takes a lot. So it built up my courage. Before I even went for the CSS training, I was doing community work, and the people, the children, they just loved coming to my house, and even now they play every day in front of my house. Whether I do a program, whether I do nothing, they're there. I think it's more because I give attention. Yeah, I give attention and listen to them. I'm gonna get some brown bread today for the kids to go with this soup. The shop has been here over 21 years. Or over 20 years, and yeah, I've actually grown in the shop though. I was a kid when the shop opened. There's not another big shop unless it's up there, but I'm not really fond of those owners there because they change most of the time, management. But this is the one shop that has the same management and the same people working here for like so long. If I have something for like a program for the day and the bread is like a bit too not in my pocket, then I would go speak to the owner and he would give me some discount. You see? Sorry. Else it's good. Else I'm good. This is the best place to shop for me. This is the nearest. And the prices is affordable because I don't give any transport out.
Okay. Have a nice day, you
Thanks, thanks Uncle James. Bye. So this is one of the stands that we have here within our community. Fruits and veggies are mostly sold here. And these are my good friends. So they know me. I normally would negotiate with him. You know, sometimes the fruit goes up. It's like your bond of your house somehow. Fruit goes up, it comes down, you know, things like that. So when I do have a program, I let him know, and then he would buy me boxes at the price that he pays at the market. So let me just take you to a spot where I volunteer at. I volunteer like once a week. It's a creche, ECD, So my little son is there, and then I actually got very close with the principal. This is one of the things that I do, and the other one is I'm not actually a volunteer, I'm actually a coach, because I also belong to this organization. It says Belhar Ladies Fitness. I do give them like fitness exercises and things. I also teach the children some of those exercise skills that I actually learned at the gym, because you cannot eat healthy and you're not fit. It's also underprivileged children that attends the creche. So we want them to be filled enough, and then most of the parents complain because they don't have supper the evening because they get a plate of food. So this is the ECD that I do volunteer at. So let's go inside. So this is Teacher Liz. Teacher Liz has the elder children. So she is also helping us cook. Every day we have cooked food for these children. Every day. Also nutritious, so that they can have a good meal before they leave. Thanks so much. So I'll see you.
Okay.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
My mom, she was a really great cook. She actually taught me that you need to cook not for your household, but for whoever maybe steps in from outside or comes to visit while you dishing up for something, and there's enough for everybody to eat. So I'm used to cooking in quantities, big quantities though. In my household, there's only one person that is really employed, and it's a bit tough. It's a bit tough, but we're coping. For the organization, I use most of my resources, most of them. I mean, like other organizations that I do volunteer at and do assist at, I ask them if they have maybe rice that I can use, that I want to boil for my children, or if they have veggies that I can offer me, things like that. So then I use them. And most of them sponsored a lot of things. And until I register and start getting my own funding and things, and then I would be fine on my own. But for now, they help a lot.
Ja, van alles dat ga je ermee van borstel je af.
Stanley, face to me. What is your right hand? Right. Left. Left foot. Get the beat, guys. You can follow me if you want to.
Everybody clap your hands. Clap your hands.
Nice.
Clap your hands.
These are beetroot, and these are spring onions, and in this side we have some kale. This kale that we have. These are tomatoes growing over here, and then this is coriander. I have the garden now for a year. Another organization from Gugulethu, they call themselves Ujama. They had a 7-day walk program that they were doing. 7 gardens, 7 communities. They were going to do one on the park here, but because it's a community garden, children tend to mess up. That's why I asked them rather to plant it in my yard, and then I can have more control of it. I don't mind them playing. I like them playing around it because it gets them used to, earthly and daily things. And they need to get interactive with things like this. Keeps them out of harm's way. Yeah, keeps them out of trouble for the day. I never thought in a million years that I would have my own garden that I could harvest from and even have my family eat of it. Even the community having to eat from my garden. That's perfect. We were more of a takeout, me and my family. Never had vegetables. And then as soon as I done the training and learned about different foods, different vegetables, and how to even prepare them to make them taste better than what they do taste. And now that I have the garden, we're so excited. And we really enjoy eating out of our own garden and eating healthier.
First of all, I like birds, from the chickens, geese, to the all that kind of feeds. Also because I like the geese, is to make compost. It's worse in winter time because it's too much cold. So when you take manure from the geese to put it on the soil, it just make it warm. From this side now we're having 2 chickens. It's a backyard chicken. It's an egg chickens. From these egg chickens, I used to sell it for mthunzi, farming, marketing. But from these ones, it's only just to make it beautiful for my yard. Also, it's part of my family. In Xhosa people, they were the healers. They use these black chickens, white chickens, in terms of a bad spirit. So they used to buy it. Yeah, to heal someone. Yeah. Yeah, we have a church services. I also lead them every Sundays, also sometimes during the week, like yesterday and Wednesday and Fridays. Because actually the garden is not something we come from our mind. It's something coming from the Bible. True, by that time the God said to the Abel and Cain, you can plant it something which is coming from from heaven. Ever since I do from the word of God, everything just be survive. So yeah, I'm gonna be this house. It's a house gonna make it for the tourists where we're gonna be stay. Yeah, I want something it's gonna be not normal to use bricks to build the ride. There must be a shack, gonna be a township style. But inside gonna change all the things. The inside they can be normal ones. Also I have this section for the grape wine. Call it sweet wine. Some maybe 2 years, 3 years are gonna having some nice bottle wine. Say man, it is Eben's farm to myself, and then you're gonna see what's gonna be happening. So this garden, it's more than 30 years now. I was here. It started from my father, and then he passed away. So I learned also to myself to do it myself. I helped through the Balimi Bezekaya, how to train me. I get certificates and give some small workshops, and then we started to know what it's happening. And then they opened it a marketing there in Philippi village. You call it Harvest of Hope. So it's Harvest, it's HOH, where we take all our stuff to the marketing, sell it in restaurants, hotels, in shops, also to the community, there in Woodstock, Salt River. The first one was B. It was 1980s until it now. But now we're just opening another section now for the community farmers. Because of some of the stuff, we can't afford to take it all our food. So we just talk to us with other one lady, just Kim and Emma, where we can come to help us to just make it this tunzi grow up for the small farmers, so that can sell it organic food for us. Yeah, I'm tunzi in Gugulethu. Harvest of Hope is in Philippi. I have also Well Point, where you just help me to, in summertime, take the water from the soil. Because of municipality water, you can't survive, because of at the end of the month, it becomes with a big bill. Yeah, it's no budget, so I can't afford to maintain the garden each and every time and again. But through the help of Rosie Campbell, design and development, to negotiate with the people who were making these boreholes, they gave me for free instead of the cost of 5,000 rand. It was 5 years ago by that time. Come here now in Fezeka, where I'm gonna show you my garden where it is. What I want to do now at the end, I want to change the youth. Those ones who are staying on the streets must come to join to do his own home gardens. Instead of drugs, instead of drinking alcohol, instead of wrong people, instead of gangsterism, getting some school. I can make it there by my church, where if someone can come to provide me with equipment, where you can start to learn him, give him some advice how to survive. Because some of them, they close the schools because of gangsterism. So once I talk to them, they listen and they're interested. But the problem is the way forward to help them, because of finance, because of paperwork, because of networking, I don't have. Okay. From there around until it stop it on this side. Yeah, I have some people like in volunteers, sometimes in twice a week. Yeah, and then I pay them. I think it was 6 or 8 women, but it's so old by that time. So each and every year, say some no, we are tired now. They retire until you have 3 ladies there inside. We just come to help them in terms of maintaining the borehole pipes, look after them in terms of the give him advice and then help him there and there like a quicker person. So I used to told him that I just want some piece of land to them so that where we can start in my own garden because of I have at home. So they said, no, you can use that side there. We having a stipend. Yeah, we apply for it. It's money coming from the government, like 740,000 rand. Because of that borehole, it costs some 46,000 rand. And then to change the irrigations, make it new, it's more money again. Must be big, and then you can get a stipend. They need a lot of what you can say, information. Like it, you must having a NPO, you must having what you call it from the municipality, all the papers they want it, but it's a lot of papers they need, and then where we can be helps you. If you don't have those papers, and then it's hard to help you. It's because of the problem is the people are here now on a farming. It's not a youth, it's the old people. Some of them, they were not educated, you know it. Now you can say go to town, to municipality, and then you're gonna be, don't know where we can go there in town. So most of the time they say no, as long as I do this, I'm fine. Through help of agriculture, they bring us water, what you call it, the wastewater. They bring it with trucks and then they throw it on that 4 tanks, Jojo tanks, a big one there. So we used to take it from that Jojo tanks to using watering cans to make it our garden wet. So it's where I take my kids to come to join me in Saturday in afternoon classes to come to make the garden. So it's where the borehole where is. This guy was vandalizing all night. It's about 3 years, 2 years now, something like it. We don't have it. Now we put now in a new container. So it's where we can put it a new stuff now from inside the container to protect no more thieves now can stolen. Yeah, I think we're gonna finish it today.
This garden is about a month ago. We started a garden. So it firstly, the people who started this group, they gave us some seeds to plant. So we don't actually have enough space to plant everything because there are still from the seeds left. That's why we are starting to look out for other places so we can start planting those seeds there. But other places, community like at schools or other places or any maybe the clinic. Yeah, maybe for the soup kitchens because we have a soup kitchen here in Klapmuts. So most of the time they prepare soup, food, and they go to the clinic and they supply it there for the people. Maybe people who need some food because if you there at the clinic, you sit a lot of long hours there. So children and people are getting hungry. So the people usually go there to supply people with the foods. To make a garden, it takes only 1 day. Prepare everything and to make your stuff in seeds, store your seeds. It takes only 1 day.
Cape Town was without water for a couple of months.
And we needed some water, yeah.
And there was water restrictions and you can't make garden. Even you can't make it a garden because there's no water. They said to us, you must use that water, you clean your washing, that you must use that water. But you can't just use that water on vegetables.
On vegetables because there's soap in and it's not good because it can burn the vegetables. So the vegetables need clean water.
As you can see, I can show you here, because you use the wrong water, then you must wait when the sun is shining, like you get a hot day, then you put some chemicals on here to kill that germ on the plant.
On the plant, yeah. When we gonna replant those veggies, we need some of the slake chemicals because the snakes they are starting to eat. At the end of the day, there will be nothing left. We were 5, so that other old man He decided now not to come anymore. So we are 4 now. We also likes to get more people involved in this project because in the future it's gonna help a lot of youth people to stay out of troubles from starting doing wrong things, and then they can focus on programs like this. It will also help people to have more veggies in their own yards, and then they don't have to go and buy veggies, and then they can spend that money on something else.
Klapmuts is like a dumping site now here. Because other places people come, they come and drop here because Klapmuts got ground. I can see in our community, people need some help, and if you need some help and if I can help you, then I help you. You see, our government, we haven't got a police force anymore in Klapmuts. You see, when you phone the police, okay, there's not a van. We haven't got people to send out, you see. Shoprite is a very good shop. He help us.
Yeah, a lot with the older people to get their money because it's more safer. Maybe you go to the ATM, you don't even know that somebody is looking at you and is watching you every step that you're doing. So it's more better if you go in Shoprite and you buy your stuff there and everything that you need, and afterwards you can go home. So Shoprite is helping us a lot now since they built it here. Like in most of the time when maybe they see me, I'm busy working in the garden, they usually gonna say, we can see you are Martha's child. She likes to be in the garden and you are also like that. So I feel great about myself because I do really get a feedback about self-respect, and that people look up to me because they see I'm doing stuff that my mother do. So I started thinking that it's best for me also to be that role model for my children. So yes, I'm staying. You see, in the beginning when I started staying here was mostly nothing here. So yeah, even you see, this is participatory over here. See, there's also the spinach. So the spinach, I decided to put it on the other side. You see, here's the spinach. Here's the pumpkin. This is all potatoes. This is my home, where my family is staying. Usually I had only a stove, so a flat stove you can cook on. So we decided now I need an oven, you see, like in baking cake for the children and making pies, things that children usually like. Also, yeah, in the beginning was nothing, you see. It's also peaches, apples, yeah, everything. Even this grass wasn't here, so when my mother supposedly decided to build a pool house there, she said, no, don't throw the lawn away, I'll make use of it. So we decided, okay, we're gonna plant it here because then there's not a lot of work at the end of the day. At first, my mother's garden was there, so the garden was here, so my mother decided, okay, they can put a church here. So it's more something good for the youth, even for my sisters. You can't say, I can't go to church because the church is here in the yard. And evenly, on Fridays, they usually use it for the youth to come together to do some good. The shop used to be Centra, so the owner sold it when Shoprite was built because he knew he's gonna have a loss. So he sold the shop to those people, and now the shop is not. So the name is Saverite. Not so expensive as it is that Shoprite. Mostly people, they come here to come and buy for their veggies. You see, usually when we compromise our prices because when sometimes Shoprite's prices is they have sale on, and then they don't have the sale. So usually we compromise the prices, and then I will usually come here, check the prices, and then afterwards I go there by ShopRite. Oh, and I see now ShopRite's too expensive. The cucumbers is just money. Oh, it's too range up. So I prefer to come here, check, see carrots is expensive. Okay, I'll leave the carrots. Maybe I'll check for something else. Maybe something I can use, like maybe a butternut, as the old butternut. And here they also compromise with people, because here it's 8 rand and it's 12.90. So if you have a small family, you just need this for your salads. So usually what we also do, we check in papers, like big markets and so on. Maybe that combo of 100 rands, where you have your pocket, your sack of onion, your butternut, your box tomato for 100 rand. So we also look out for advertising, like when shops advertise, we also check for them. If you start your own garden, save a lot of money. The shop is really struggling at this moment, because ShopRite, the most of the people goes to ShopRite, so they don't really make money here.
We have a drug support group here at our church, and we have children 9 years old, as young as 9, and who was on drugs. We send a lot of children to the rehab. Whenever the one is it's not a rehab, it's a farm. Now, the one boy, he was there for, I think it was 4 months, and the way when he came back, he was so excited. And what they did there, it's like they don't give you tablets or anything. You must work on the farm. Like he was sitting, he said they gave him some plants and they told him what to do, and he had to do that. And it took his mind off the drugs. Like now, he's not on drugs anymore. But at the moment, we have a lot to do. We selling clothes, like a rummy sale, selling old clothes, and for funding. And we had a curry bunny evening last week. It's everything is for them to pay for them, you see. And everything is money, so we have to. But otherwise, we work together. My husband was very abusive for a couple of years, 25 years. Oh, he is like, he don't give money, he will give me 500 rand, that is for groceries, you buy groceries, and when I come back, I must give him the slip, I must give him the change. Everything must be there. Sometimes it's 200 rand. I don't know what you can buy for 200 rand, because food is expensive. Before, when he was drunk and there was no food, then I would go in his wallet when he sleeps, then just to see if there's money. I will take out 100 rand. There's no food, so I must buy food. I don't like doing that because it's stealing, because I steal it. But for food, yes, I will do it again. I cook my food on the gas pot. Sometimes it's like today, it's beans food, and we have like chicken and chips. Sometimes it's braised chicken with the potatoes and veggies. Sometimes it's the macaroni and cheese. And every day, believe me, they ask for second helpings. And I'm so glad, because at least they eat. You see, here's a little girl, she's 2 years old. Her mom will ask Jamie, is Chloe eating at creche? Then Jamie say yes. And she can't believe it, because she don't eat at home. Not porridge. She don't eat porridge. They feed her luxuries. And I can't take that. Sometimes I go to Pickmore, where Sulfat went that day. I buy my meat there, because I like the meat. Yeah, ShopRite meat is not always. If I don't have enough money, then I will go to ShopRite, then I will buy the packets there. Some of my friends will give me, that is for the creche. Like one of the ladies gave me the cornflakes yesterday, and she gave me the Oros, the 2-liter bottle. You see, so we really appreciate that. Because it helps, man. Like the porridge here, this is the maize meal. This we got from Peninsula School Feeding. They feed the schools. So one of the ladies, one of my friends gave one of our donation letters to them. And they phoned me once, and I got maize meal and the SAMP. It was me, myself, and Alexandria, and Theo. Theo's not here because she got a permanent job. And then we had to dig a big hole here, the 3 ladies, and it was really tiring. And it was quite exciting, especially when the veggies grew and when it started taking form. The cabbage and the cauliflower had worms on it. I had like butternut and squash, but because of the drought, it died. I saw now you see the snails here. I took this off. I left it like this because I was gonna clean here, and I wanted you to see what they did, man. You see? My neighbor opposite the road gave me some poison in a bottle, and I sprayed that on the cabbage and on the cauliflower. So he took off the worms because I won't do that. Worms is worms. Oh, when we harvested, I gave Anne and that is that, no? I gave Anne and Theo and some of my neighbors. I gave of the veggies. They told us about the stinging nettle. We plant, be careful there. We plant that between the whatever, like the chilies and the stuff. That also helps for the hojas and the pests. This is the chilies. There's still chilies on the tree. Yeah, that is my pepper dew, but there's no pepper dews now. Because of the drought, yes. I'll show you the water there. There's the drums. There's water in every drum here. When Anita told us about the food and nutrition, so we decided, okay, we're going to do the food and nutrition because of the creche. And whatever we plant here and we harvest, we can use it there. At least food and nutrition we know. I know because we have the creche, I know what I can give the children, what is healthy. But now, whenever I'm going to plant now, then I know I must do it like in stock, because they told us, I started here with one chili tree, and then I plant another one, so if there's no more chilies on that one, this one will have. You see, that is what I'm going to do in front, because then there will always be fresh veggies for the children. My eldest daughter is busy now. They bought the compost and everything, and she asked me, I must help her. So that was something different now. Exciting because she's interested in it. And now there's big green peppers on the trees, and there's chilies on the trees, yeah, and spinach. Very excited. My grandchildren are very excited about the garden because, like I told you, before they go to school, when I water the garden, then they are there to help me because that is what they want to do before they go to school. When they come here, then I'm busy there. Then they will tell me, that is what we do. Yeah, we did that, you see. They are excited. That is all the chilies. As you can see, the big ones, that is the pepper dews. I put that in the freezer because that was all the pepper dews that came off. There's more veggies now than there was in the past. And it helps a lot because we know what is healthy. And because I must look at children's, I must see to them. And automatically my family benefits because whatever I make there, they will eat here. I mean, if there's more gardens in our community, then that is a way of income for them too. You see, they can sell their whatever they have, like fruit or veg, And I mean, I won't mind buying from them. If I must buy in stock, I will go to fruit and veg, or I will go to the market in Bellville or in Epping, and I will buy there. But it's far for me to go, you see. I must think of petrol, and with the petrol prices. So community gardens will be a great help.
What I'm doing, I'm using all the materials that I can get. Whether it's a trouser, it's a small bucket, it's a tire. I'm going to plant in this trouser that I'm carrying now. Because it's what I'm encouraging members of my community, that they mustn't throw away their materials that they already have. Make something useful of it, and then you see you'll benefit out of it. My aim is that as the time goes by, I can start even a soup kitchen where I can provide for my community also, you know. I know I've got a small space, but I must try and do the best I can with what I have. I can't ask for something bigger, and yet I haven't used the smaller space I have. Let me start using the smaller space I have, then I will seek for a bigger space. Wow, this girl is coming huge, ne? She's got big legs. I would say it's a concept that I grew up with, because in the country our old people used to teach us growing vegetables, looking after the cows. And then when we came to the city, it was something like it's new. But it was not new, it's something we used to do. Before you go to the government or to go to the councillor and say, look, councillor, I want this. Then even him will ask you, what are you doing? So that I can support you in whatever you're doing. But if you go to him and say, well, look, we are trying to start a soup kitchen. We've got a small vegetable garden. Then where can we go from there? Even him, he can put even his 2% so that he can see that the community is in need of this. I don't mind about the little land that I have. The most important thing now is the water. If I can get a borehole here in my yard so that I can be able to water my plants when I need to water them, then I don't see any problem. And we're trying our best to show them that we can use even plants that they don't need so much water. Like this morojo that is standing here. It's some of the plants that they don't need water so much. But you can eat this plant for the whole year through. By this way, people can see that no, we can't depend on no one, but to depend on ourselves, to do things ourselves, and that's the better way to go. I've been sustaining myself from a long time because I was doing art and craft work before, until I met this brother Simon from Soul for Life, and he introduced to me about this new way of gardening. So I liked the new way he came with. So I started also the training of how to do the new way of gardening. So for me, it worked so perfect that I enjoyed it until today. As communities, we can start by growing our own food, you know, and having our own gardens. And then we grow our own foods from there. If we put our foods together and open a market, at least a small amount of money that will come in, it can help us also in buying the children's shoes. So that on the other hand, the money that we are using for food, it can also help us in giving the children what they need in school, school shoes, school books, because we buy now the books in schools. It's nothing that you get for free. You see, our children, the shops that are between us is introducing more junk food for the kids. The chips, the cold drink they bring, and the parents, even them themselves, they don't know what they are feeding to their kids, you know. But they know at the end of the day what is making their kids sick is this food that they are giving to the children. You see? They say they don't have the money to buy the right stuff. Now what they buy, they just buy whatever it's in front of them. And what is in front of them, it's what is making them sick. And people go to hospital whereby they get antibiotics. They don't get things that is going to cure them. They get medication that is just, they're going to eat those medication and they're not going to be better just because they are consuming that medication. But the only way they can become better is eating healthy, eating fresh vegetables every day, eating your fruits every day. And for me, I would love that the children, they can know also how to grow vegetables. If you ask them where an apple comes from, they don't know. Now, if we start to show them, even a spinach, it becomes a seed, then you put it in the ground, you prepare your ground, and then you plant it and it germinates to be something that you can put in the pot someday, you see? Those are the things we need to teach them. Even those are the steps of a human being. Being a toddler, being a crawler, and then getting up and going to work, you know? Those are all the stages we ought to go through them. And those are the things we ought to teach them, that nothing comes so easy in life. You go to work for something to get it. Nothing comes so easy. As a Rasta, you saw Rasta goes hand to hand with nature, you know, my sister. If you Rasta, you ought to love nature. Because if you love nature, you ought to love your brother also, you know. This is what we're trying to teach people, that by loving each other, we are bridging that gap of hatred among one another. Now, by working the land was given to us by the Almighty so that it can sustain us, it can give us food, and yet at the end of the day, it will bury us when we die. I wouldn't say time is an issue, because for me, most of the things that I see, people, they do have time. Because you will find them sitting in front of the television from the early hours of the morning until late in the afternoon. You mean in all that time you don't have, say, half an hour or an hour that you can work in your garden, and then after that you can go back to what you were watching? You can only help those who want to help themselves. That is the most important things in life, that God gave us that chance of having a choice. You see, the development that they are bringing in the community is still not the right development, but they are trying. Because of the density now of our communities, because people are on top of each other and they are living in shacks, you know. And there's no way we can get clean water, there's no way we can get enough toilets. And now the blockages is causing the diseases in the community, you know. There's rats that are running in and out in the house, in the toilets, they come in the house, they're spreading all these diseases, you know. But I would say a better developed community, it will give even the people of that community a better peace of mind, you know. And that will not happen if people of that community, they don't take matters into their own hands. Because I do believe people of their communities, themselves, that know what they want. And for what they want, they should start in working thereon. That we want to achieve this. How would we achieve this? By working collective. To be a sustainable community is to work together. Now that there are things of development, you know, there are contractors coming with, what is this? There are tenders, you know, Maria. People are getting these tenders that they bring in the community. And then when they come with these tenders, there's not always transparency to the people who bring the tenders to the community, you know. They don't tell the people what is their aims and objective of this tender that they bring to the community, why they bring it to the community. Now, at the end of the day, it ends up being, there comes things of robbery or maybe money that it was stolen, that was never enough to finish the job that it was meant to finish, you know. And when you do such proposal, even involve those people who are doing something for them. They must know what is going on and what is required from them. You see, it's the same as gardening, you know. People must know what is expected of them by doing this. And what would they achieve if they all take part in gardening, you know. But it's just that the system has made it that we don't like to share, you know. It's just that everyone for himself. And yet if we were sharing, the world would be a better place, my sister, I tell you. If you put your hand on top of your heart will tell you from the rising of the sun and the going down of the same, that you ought to do good. If you divide the people, you put them to upper class and put the others in lower class, then there'll be always division among them. And people will be always taking from those who have. And those that they have will not want to share for those who don't have. Yeah, work is the thing we should love. But it doesn't mean you must work for somebody else, you know. Slavery was abolished long time. It's just that now we've got to free our minds now. This is my little paradise where I do my meals. Well, these sweet potatoes, I bought it from another mama who's growing them in Lower Cross Road. It's not that sometimes we buy, né? We exchange, like for instance, if I've got enough green peppers or I've got enough brinjal, then I will take them to her and then she'll give me sweet potato. You see, it's how we do. My mom, yeah, when I was growing up, she taught me how to cook. And she told me that I mustn't wait for no woman to come and cook for me. I must be able to cook for my own self. Meat is what is introducing most of the diseases that we have in our communities or in our society, you know. If people can stop consuming meat, because I don't believe that human beings were being created by God that they can consume meat. Because to be a vegetarian or to be a vegan, it's to live a healthy lifestyle, you know. Say for instance, if a certain farmer has got say 1,000 cattle and he found out that these cattle they are sick and he ought to give them an injection and he can't afford to get that vaccine that for that certain disease of those cows, he will rather slaughter them and make more money out of the meat than selling them as they are, you see. And he won't tell the consumers that, no man, I find that my cattle are sick now, I must slaughter them. No, he'll just slaughter them and put them in a butchery there. People will consume that meat and get sick. He doesn't mind as long as he's making his profit. That is the most important thing our people must be aware of. About the people making money out of us than taking care of our health, you know. They don't mind, they don't care about our health as long as they're feeding their pockets with money. I know it's the food you grow yourself, and the pesticides that you know you did use in that garden is the pesticide you did make your own self. They are not harmful to your health at a later stage than what they use in the other markets, you know. Well, when you use organic pesticides, you use like borage, stinging nettles, you see. We're using the natural things that are growing even in our gardens. We use the wheat tea, seaweed teas, you know. You make garlic tea, you make onion tea, you know, mixed with garlic to prevent certain pests in your garden. It depends what is troubling you in your garden. Then from there you will see what you can use then in your garden. Fungus, plant the fungus. Yabo? Yalmon malipumabi. Siyawafuna. Phaendling lansiki nyama waqokelele wagalele plastikini.
Nditshintshwe into eyanditshintsha impilo yam ndiye ndalima kuba igadi yam inkulu ndaqonda into yoba mandenze ii-shares mna nefemeli yam nenantsika ne-community yam ikwazi uba bathenge abangenayo into bathi xa becela ndibaphe mane ndibapha kodwa ke nam ndithengisa imali yam ngoku ayifani nakuqala hayi ayifani nakuqala noko xa ndikhaya egadini
ndiyafumana ngoba kaloku ezinye iveji ndinazo egadini. I just cut the vegetables to the meal. Sometimes I just cook rice and potatoes and meat only. Yes, ndingathanda ukuthi kubo intsebenziswano yabo nathi imandi.
Ndandisebenza ema-kitchen before, so zaphela nee-chas. Ndabona uba ke ngoma ndithatha ispeyidi ndizenzele, ndivuke ndizenzele. Last week ndiyithengisile iblomkol, ibintle. Ndiyithengise kwaphaa e-eriyeni, phaa eBarcelona. Then ndayimixa nespinach. Ndenze bunch. 10 rand bunch. 10 rand bunch, 10 rand bunch, 10 rand bunch, 10 rand. Ndithetha into ethi ndilimile ndathengisa. Bayasiba ispinatshi sam, andinanethi, ndenze ngamaplank. Bayasiba ispinatshi sam, ebusuku xa ndilele bayasitya. Mhlawumbi kubekho umntu ondenzela kakuhle, enze ipali, enze nje kakuhle ayiprotecte, nje ayiprotecte, kungarayithi, kungakuhle.
The government has been encouraging blacks to go for farming, especially this area of cooperative societies. I tried my best to organize other people to assist me in organizing for a cooperative society. We are still attending workshops, trainings and all the likes. I managed to get a piece of land, a small piece of land, from a nearby high school known as Item Kize. So now we are busy now trying to get now this and that, resources and everything, so that we can start working on that piece of land. Another kind of training that I received before I came here is with the government agencies that go around to give trainings, workshops and so on, just as Soul for Life is doing at the moment. The government says all those who are part and parcel of the cooperative societies and officially registered through the CIPC organization in Pretoria are going to get 350,000 rand stipend from the government. Each and every co-op is expected to sort of show a 10% contribution of that capital of 350,000 as a commitment that they really want to be a co-op. That as well is another challenge for us as this co-op, because now we are struggling, moving high and low, sideways, trying to get whoever can assist us with this 10% of that capital of 350,000. But there is a little bit that we put into our money bag month by month. I don't know whether it's because the Western Cape region is the one that has formerly been referred to as the white preferred area, you see. I don't know whether it's because of that, but the majority of farmers in the Western Cape are white, you see. So I'm trying to say we want to be in that level of the white farmers. Okay. But in order to reach that state, the basics are the best. Where I am right now, this is the start of being a quality farmer. For the start and in this level, where you find us now, we are busy now with that of providing the community and more especially the soup kitchens that provide food for the needy within our townships. I want to create a passion in this field now. I want to die with it now.
Omdat my man was baie vertuin maak. Dis die rede hoekom ek nou vir my besluit om te gaan in die programme om tuin te maak. Ek sien 'n goeie toekoms vorentoe vir die tuin. Dan sal ek deel met die wat die het.
Ons kan 'n tuin nog uitbrei, groter en dan nog miskien hier en daar nog iemand nog bykry om ook dat ons dan kan dit ons moet nou die goede leer wat ons moet nou dit sit
I'm a pensioner. I'm 65 years old. I'm still trying to make the best of life. That's why I joined the organization to make my own garden, because the young people of these days didn't want to dirty their hands with the ground. They just want to eat out of the shops. And now they can see what we're doing here in a small town of Klapmuts.
Always thought I wanted to help in the community, you know. You always have that thing, and when you saw children, you see this one is struggling, but you don't know how to help. So where do you start? So this was something new for me. Doing this process has actually made me learn how to open up to people and how to receive people, you know. I made a lot of friends. Even with the child protection that came in, we were both groups working together. They learned us and we learned them. So we actually basically learned from both sides. Oh, we did workshops in the community where we would educate adults and children about malnutrition and what kind of food they need to eat. Basically what happened, most of that women that came to workshops is actually involved in our programs now and in our group helping. They are assisting us.
My origin was from Nigeria. Back home, I used to believe that a community raised a child because we were raised in the community. But when I got here to South Africa, things were different. It's like all man for himself. And along the line, I started living that same life. Like I just keep to myself and my kids. I don't care about what happened in my surroundings. But when I got to this program, the humanity that was there lying down in me has to be awakened again. That this is who you are. You can't run from helping people. So this program wake back the real me that really want to do something to make impact in another person's life.
There are lots of open public spaces. So we hope that, you know, public representatives, our councillors, would come on board and assist us with that, to create greater spaces which can be utilized for planting. We're not policy makers, neither are we lawmakers, but we can influence change. Those that has received training, we must find each other in our areas and even see how we can to strengthen our networks across the present partnerships, and particularly the 3 communities, and see how we can complement one another's work.